You might be lying in bed at night, finally settling down after a long day. The room is quiet. The lights are low. And just as you begin to relax, your cat slowly climbs onto your chest. They turn in a small circle, maybe once, maybe twice. Then they settle right there, directly over your heart. Most people assume cats do this simply because it's warm. But what many cat owners don't realize is that when a cat chooses this exact spot, they may be responding to something very specific about you, something their instincts recognize. And once you understand what that is, this small moment starts to mean something completely different. Cats experience the world very differently than we do. Humans rely heavily on sight and language. We talk, we explain, we ask questions. But cats communicate through far quieter signals. Through scent, through body language, through presence. So when a cat chooses to rest on you, especially in a place as close as your chest, it isn't random. It's part of how they understand connection. Many cats begin showing this behavior in the quietest moments of the day. You sit down on the couch. You lie in bed. The house becomes calm, and almost instinctively, your cat appears. They walk across the blanket, step carefully onto you, and settle down right over your chest. At first glance, it may simply look like they're looking for a warm place to sleep. And warmth does play a role. Cats naturally seek out warm surfaces. Their bodies run slightly hotter than ours, and conserving heat is part of their instinct. But if warmth were the only reason, your cat would have many options. Blankets, pillows, sunny spots on the floor. Yet many cats still choose the same place, right on top of you. Part of this behavior comes from a deeply rooted instinct related to safety. In the wild, small animals survive by choosing resting places carefully. When a cat sleeps, they become vulnerable. Their senses soften. Their awareness of danger fades, so the place where they sleep matters. Over time, your presence becomes one of the most reliable signals of safety in your cat's environment. You feed them. You create routines. Your movements and voice become familiar patterns in their world. And gradually, your cat begins to associate your presence with stability. So when they choose to sleep on your chest, they may be choosing the place that feels most secure, not because they need protection in a literal sense, but because their instincts recognize your presence as something steady and safe. There's another small detail hidden in this behavior that many owners notice but rarely think about: your heartbeat. When a cat lies on your chest, they feel the gentle rhythm beneath them, a slow, steady pulse that continues even as the rest of the room grows still. For animals, rhythmic signals can be deeply calming. In fact, many young mammals grow up sleeping beside siblings and their mother, surrounded by breathing sounds and heartbeats. Those rhythms become associated with safety and belonging. So when your cat presses against your chest and begins to relax, part of their brain may be responding to something very familiar: the quiet rhythm of life beneath them. And here's something most cat owners don't realize. Your cat isn't just choosing a warm or soft place. They may actually be choosing a place where multiple comforting signals come together. Your warmth, your scent, your breathing, your heartbeat. All of these signals create a kind of sensory anchor for your cat, a place where their nervous system can relax. But this is where the behavior becomes even more interesting, because sleeping on your chest also allows your cat to stay connected to you in a subtle way. Cats are often described as independent animals, but their social instincts are far more complex than that. While they may not express attachment in the same ways dogs do, cats still form strong bonds with the people they trust. And many cats maintain that bond through proximity, by staying close, by choosing spaces where they can quietly observe you, or where they can rest while remaining aware of your presence. Your chest becomes one of the most intimate versions of that closeness. It's a place where your cat can feel your movements, your breathing, and even small changes in your posture. And over time, This closeness becomes part of your shared routine. You lie down. Your cat appears. They settle into their familiar place. These repeated moments quietly reinforce the relationship between you, because animals learn through patterns. When something consistently feels safe and comfortable, their brain remembers it. So if your cat has spent many peaceful evenings resting on your chest, their instinct begins guiding them back to that same place again and again. It becomes part of how they regulate comfort, part of how they settle themselves at the end of the day. There's also a more subtle emotional layer in this behavior. Cats often choose elevated positions when they want awareness of their surroundings. But when they trust an environment completely, they allow themselves to rest in closer, more vulnerable positions. Sleeping on your chest requires a level of trust. Your movements could wake them. Your breathing shifts their body slightly, yet they remain there, relaxed, still, sometimes even stretching out fully as they drift into deeper sleep. This is a sign of a nervous system that feels safe enough to let go of constant vigilance. And that kind of calm doesn't appear instantly. It develops slowly through familiarity, through routines, through shared quiet moments. Over time, your presence becomes something your cat associates with peace, a familiar anchor in their environment. So when they climb onto your chest at night, they aren't just choosing a place to sleep. They're choosing the place where the signals of safety feel strongest, the warmth they recognize, the scent they trust, the quiet rhythm of your breathing beneath them. And in their own quiet language, that small choice says something surprisingly meaningful. Not with words, not with dramatic gestures, but through a simple act of closeness. In that moment, your cat is doing something very natural. They're resting where their instincts feel calm, where their environment feels stable, and where the presence they trust most is right beside them. Sometimes the deepest parts of the bond between humans and animals appear in moments that look almost ordinary. A quiet room, a slow heartbeat, and a cat choosing to sleep exactly where they feel most at home, right there on your chest. Did your cat ever do this? Tell us in the comments. Does your cat like to sleep on your chest, or do they choose a different spot? Every cat has their own quiet way of showing trust. We'd love to hear about yours. See you in the next video.